Say luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Talk to us one of your biggest deal, and then one that maybe is not big but it's the most meaningful.
Yeah, so it's different in New York than anywhere else because our biggest deals are building based.
Yes.
So I took over an entire building full of apartments, which I do a lot. Like that's the majority of our business last year. And by the end of the year, we had closed on $101 million worth of apartments. But I guess that's not as much fun to talk about. No one seems to care. I guess individually, there's a deal that I talk about in the book that means a lot to me that kind of answers both of your questions. It was a client that I met in 2012. And he, right when the show came out, it was somebody that I met or a few months after that. And it was a couple from New Jersey, and they really wanted a small apartment on the Upper East Side. Their budget was $800,000 to $1 million, maybe $1.5 million, for a place that they could have in the city when the kids get older and stuff. Right. And I showed them apartments on the Upper East Side for 6 months. Right. And then they were like, you know what, maybe we should see the Upper West Side. And I wasn't knowledgeable on how to be a real estate agent. I was just sort of figuring it out, right? And so I showed them stuff on the Upper West Side, and then they wanted downtown, and then they wanted Brooklyn, and then they disappeared. Stopped answering my phone calls, stopped answering my emails, and I didn't know what to do, but I knew that the best thing that I could do and what I can control in any relationship is my ability to follow up with people. So I followed up once a week. Fast forward 5 years later to the beginning of 2017. And the husband writes back to one of my emails finally that I've been sending once a week since 2012.
Wow.
Okay. And he writes back to me and says, "Hey Ryan, sorry it's taken me a while to get back to you. I've just been really busy." For 5 years. Okay. And I'm like, oh, you're alive. So I immediately write this whole email, and then I calm down. I take a moment. I delete my whole email that was insane, and I say, "Sounds good to hear from you. Yeah, let's talk." Get him on the phone. He's like, "Hey, I've been getting your emails. So I got divorced." I'm like, "Oh, okay, crazy." And I want to find a new place, maybe Soho. My budget's like $15-20 million. I take him out the next week, show him 5 apartments. He picks one, closes on it 3 weeks later for $16 million.
Wow.
So if I told you that story from the beginning of 2017, you'd say, "Oh, okay, Ryan, you're on a TV show, you do this. Of course, people are going to email you and call you and buy $16 million apartments."
Yes.
But the way the deal happened was before $1 million listing, was before anybody knew me the way they know me now. I met a couple who wanted a small apartment on the Upper East Side, and I worked with them for 9 months, and they didn't buy anything. And then I closed those people 5 years later. And that guy now, I'm working on a deal with right now for a house in the Hamptons for $32 million.
So his business has grew.
His business has grown, and so has mine.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons he stuck with me, and he knows a lot of real estate agents, they're all over New York City. And what he's told me, he's like, "Listen, I really appreciate, because it's how he grew his business, I appreciate how you follow up. I appreciate your persistent and the hustle. Instead of just giving my business, because he knows what commissions are, he's not stupid.
Yeah.
Instead
and
of
he can
giving
give
my
that to
business,
anybody,
I could give it to any real estate agent, but man, oh man, are you gonna work hard for me? And to this day, I do. He calls me at 2 a.m, I pick up the phone. Because I think I still have post-traumatic stress disorder from him not picking up the phone for 5 years. So it's not my big, those are big deals, but it means the most to me because it has defined my business. That is my business. I'm in this for the long haul.
And I'm glad you brought it up because I train a lot of closers. They might think, "Oh, Ryan, it's easy for you to say. You're a reality TV star. People just come to you and they say, 'Hey, here are the listings.'"
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
doesn't happen, but
no,
that would be great.
It doesn't happen. You hustle even on the phone. I remember one of the episodes. There was a property. There was some problem for the executive, the storyline, but you were just pounding the phone.
Yeah.
Right. You were in the office. Give me the phone number. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna make sure this sells. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think your assistant.
Yeah.
The super assistant.
Yeah.
Right. And you were just like, "I don't care. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna email."
It's every property. Yeah.
But I think if that's just the beginning of your career, that's one thing. But when you still do it today.
Yeah, you have to.
When you still have that hustle.
Yeah.
Right. What drives you now? What's your goal?
Fear of failure. Once you climb up the mountain, when you fall off, it hurts that much more. So like what we were just talking about, and I'm fine with it being out there. Like you asked me before we hit record.
2017.
Yeah, you're like, what were your numbers last year? I'm like, well, there was 721 million, which sounds like a lot, but it's lower than my year before. The year before was 838, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? Start my bio. Say that I did 1.5 billion in the last 2 years. That sounds better. Yes. But like I do own it.
But it's still 700 some million.
Listen,
right?
I get it. Yeah, I get it 100%. Yeah. But for me, like, I took steps back last year. The market was tough. We have a crazy political climate, especially in New York City. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on in the economy, right? China locked up all their capital to come over. Yeah. Putin told anyone, if you bring money out of Russia, I'll kill you. Like Brazil, Venezuela are falling apart. Like, so we had a lot of this international currency, which used to provide all the liquidity to New York City.
Correct.
Disappear. Yeah. And so now I got to deal with just New Yorkers buying and selling to each other, and some other domestics, but New Yorkers will negotiate the price of a bagel. So it's like trying to do one New York guy against another New York guy is like really, really hard to put together, and it affects deal flow. And then there's a lot of inventory. So, but we've worked around it, right? And tried our best to diversify as much as possible.
What about in terms of building your team? Because now, before you're working on your own, and now you have how big of a team on Team Serhant?
62, I think.
Yes. Yeah. What's it like in terms of leadership? What are some of the things you've learned in leadership?
I like it. I like managing. I like leading. I like staying on top of people. I like helping agents grow because I still see like myself in them. And the more I help them grow, the more they help me. Yeah. Right. And I like being able to do whatever I want to do every day. Like that's why I got into real estate instead of becoming a bartender or a waiter or getting a temp secretary job. Because I just didn't want to have to punch in and punch out. Yes. Right. I wanted the ability to wake up and say, what am I going to do today? Now, granted, my life now is I don't get to do whatever I want. I mean, I bounce around, but hey, I'm in Vancouver, like with Dan Locke in a $35 million Canadian dollar mansion, hanging out that has its own bowling alley. Like I couldn't do that in an alternate version of my life. And so, building the team has enabled me to be able to do a lot of these things and bring business back to them. Like anyone that I meet today in Vancouver, real estate brokers, because I'm giving a speech later, anyone in this room.
Connections.
Between now and the next 50 years, maybe somebody that I meet today will refer me business, in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. And that will pass down to my team, and they're very grateful for it. And so I really like building the team. It's my main focus, honestly.
What's your relationship with the team? Do you go out there? So you go out there and you meet with people, you bring in the relationships, and then your team would do the showing, they would do the listing. Like, what do they do?
So I just wrote an article about it for Forbes, actually, and you do a lot with Forbes. That I structure my team very much like a football team, like an American football team. Okay. Right. So like I quarterback. Okay. So for the most part, a lot of the listings and deals we have, the majority of them I touch first. Okay. Right, and kind of decide what we're going to do, and then I probably have to close it, but probably not, depending on how we price it and all that. And then everyone else on the team has kind of defined roles. They're all real estate agents. They can do whatever they want, right? But like I know that if I'm doing a play to the Upper West Side, I've got these 3 wide receivers, right? Amy, Roya, Bianca, and I can go to them and I know they can close it and run it in for a touchdown. Nice. And that way, everyone on my team, all 62 of them, can be individual rock stars. So just like on an American football team, they can all make a lot of money. They can all be famous. They can all be amazing. They can all do great. So no one on my team is an assistant or a junior, other than my assistant. The assistant, yes. But even he is like more than an assistant, and he reminds me of it every day. And so that way the team can like really grow with me and feel like they're not just on Ryan Serhant's team, that they have ownership with me. Yes. And they like, without them, I can't do anything. Like I can't close these deals. I'm not in Brooklyn right now showing all these apartments. Yes. Yes. Like they are, and they know that.
So then you're encouraging them, they're supporting you, but you're developing leaders as well.
Yeah,
right?
And providing, and at the end of the day, providing business. So just like on a football team, like the teamship only works if I'm helping them get their own business and providing them business as well, putting them on listings that they otherwise wouldn't have been on, introducing them on relationships that they otherwise wouldn't have, helping them learn that way so they can meet the biggest brokers and the biggest types of buyers and clients, and then forcing them to use that and milk that and grow their own business.
And during this period of time that you're building your empire, what's the one big mistake you wish you would have avoided? Like the big one.
Oh man. It's a big mistake I wish I would have avoided. I don't know. That's a good question. I think 2 years ago I grew real fast. Like we went from like, because I've been around 60 now for 2 years. So 2 years ago, we went from like 30 to 60. So like we doubled the team size in a year.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago is when I filmed It Like Serhant for Bravo, the other show we do on Bravo.
Yeah.
And I started writing the book. And so all this stuff happened in 2017, right? And I had all these new people that were looking up to me, all blah, 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 blah. And then I started losing team members.
Oh, how
like
come?
not new ones, but like people that were really, really good who I'd worked with for years to build up on my team, because all of a sudden, without including them, they felt like I had just made decisions for the team for my own benefit. That, oh, okay, I'm gonna bring on more people, screw you guys. I'm gonna write a book, I'm gonna take time, I'm gonna go do this other TV show, I've gotta be out of the office now every other week for an entire week for 4 months to make that show, and I'm gonna do this and this. And so I had good agents on my team who just said, you know what, this isn't the same team, Ryan's not including us anymore, and they left.
The culture.
Yeah, I think we lost like six solid agents.
Yeah.
And so I just went too fast at that point and kind of let it get a little bit ahead of me. So it forced me at the beginning of last year to really like slow down and understand that like every person is incredibly important and treat them all, you know, very, very important. And also like put priorities first. Like all this stuff, all the shows, the books is all fun, but my real estate business is number one and my team is number one, and I got to put them first.